Today's Cowboys Report is presented by Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com/chat and you can save 20% off and get free shipping on all their fantastic men's grooming products. Let's dive into some quarterback talk here. We'll begin with the big one, right? Trading for Russell Wilson, since Russell Wilson put the Cowboys, at least his agent says, on the list of teams he would be open to playing for if traded. Of course, Russell Wilson has a no-trade clause. It's 1 star on this one, and the 1 star really has less to do about this season and more about next season, which we'll get to. But Wilson's agent told Adam Schefter he wants to play for the Seahawks, which I feel like everyone ignored, but that's okay. The 4 teams he would be down to play for, though, included the Dallas Cowboys, which, brief aside, before we dive too far into this, something that we should always make note of because we always forget. Every time there's a player out there, they get linked to the Cowboys. It's like basic agent work. So, yeah, we'll throw the Cowboys in there for the clout. That's just how it typically goes down. But the Cowboys do make a little bit of sense if they don't want to pay Dak Prescott, right? Like, you could find a way to get Russell Wilson on your team. You're getting an, at worst, just as good, if not better, quarterback, and he pays less. That's intriguing, right? And if you're Wilson, your 4 teams are the Cowboys, of course, the Saints, the Bears, and the Raiders, all but one of those teams actually having a good offensive line. The Cowboys actually have the 2 best assets, the number 10 overall pick and Dak Prescott in terms of being able to make a trade. Here's the problem, though, specifically as it relates to this season. With the way Russell Wilson's contract is structured, it would cost the Seahawks an extra $7 million on Wilson's already $32 million cap hit. So if they were to trade Russell Wilson, they would still be paying him $39 million in this upcoming season. And on top of that, if you were to trade Dak Prescott as part of that deal, he now has to get all of this money. So you're getting really complicated from the Seahawks' money perspective in terms of how are you going to pay Russ almost $40 and then give Dak what he wants, a shorter-term deal worth probably going to be at least $40 million. That's a lot of complication to make it work from a money perspective if you're including Dak Prescott in a trade. And if you're not including Dak Prescott and you're going to try and just send draft picks, well, now you're giving up like number 10, a first next year, a second next year, and a first down the road, and all these draft picks to get a similar quarterback. Well, wouldn't you just rather keep the draft picks and rebuild the defense that way? Of course, you could spend some money on top of that. And if you're going to not include Dak, well, maybe you could try to do a sign Dak Prescott to a deal to pay him some signing bonus. The Cowboys pay the signing bonus, and they end up getting Russell Wilson, but now you're paying the exact same amount of money because you already paid Dak Prescott some. That's more in line with the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff deal. The Seahawks probably going to want some picks anyway because that's how NFL teams operate. Or maybe you try and trade Dak Prescott to an unnamed third team, acquire more Dak Prescotts, or more draft picks, and now you're going to give those picks to Wilson, and it's so complicated. It doesn't really make sense with where the Cowboys and Seahawks are at. It's too complicated. You're jumping through all these hoops at that point. Just pay your similarly talented quarterback. Now, in the event that there's no Dak Prescott deal this offseason, and he plays on the franchise tag again, because at that point he might be gone in free agency. And if Russell Wilson is not traded this offseason, which in the end I think is what happens, I think the Seahawks keep Wilson for a year. Next offseason, if the Cowboys don't have a quarterback locked up long term, then let's revisit that. Because at that point, it makes a lot more sense for the Cowboys and for the Seahawks. But back to the Dak versus Russell Wilson discussion, right? Last 5 seasons, keeping in mind, of course, that Dak Prescott did play a couple less games because of his injury this past season, and that Russell Wilson has been in the NFL longer than Dak Prescott. The comparison here, completion percentage favors Dak Prescott. He's been better, just as good as Russell Wilson. In fact, past 2 years, Dak's been the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. That's backed up by the stats. He's been more accurate. The yards per attempt are actually identical. The touchdowns favor Russell Wilson. Interceptions slightly favor Dak Prescott. Quarterback rating favors Wilson by a little bit. Both of these quarterbacks are awesome. Like, both of these guys are, you want to rank them top 5, want to rank them top 10, whatever. Those are franchise guys. So, for me and the Cowboys, this comes down to, why would I interject all this complication when I can just pay my guy? And yes, Russell Wilson would be cheaper to start, but guess what Wilson's going to want in the very near future? A new deal, before Dak Prescott would get a new deal, by the way, in terms of his second contract. And it's going to be even more expensive than what you'd pay Dak Prescott, because that's how the quarterback contract market works. So I am of the mindset, simply pay your quarterback. You have a top 5, top 10, top whatever guy, you should want to keep him. Wilson is a better player right now for me than Dak Prescott. If it was just a 1-to-1 swap, give me Wilson. Fortunately, that's not really how it works. So get your votes in. Pick a quarterback for me. R for Russ or D for Dak. This is the pinned comment. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. Let's talk more Dak Prescott here. Oh, the sticker shock. Something we've discussed many a time before. 2 stars on this one. Do I believe the Cowboys are going to have some sticker shock? Yes, they are. Do I think that they should? No, they shouldn't, because all they have to do is watch my show, and they will know how contracts work, and they just don't seem to get it. Now, currently working for CBS, but former agent Joe Corey made a point of how, there's a sticker shock with the Dak Prescott deal, but the Cowboys have done this before, guys, where they had an offer for Dak, and then they didn't get it done, and they came back way later and are stunned that the deal went up. Shouldn't be that difficult. We'll break down what deal Corey suggested here, but if you don't want to have any sticker shock, use some Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/chat. Check the comments. Check the description. That link is in there. If you want to stay smooth down there, if you don't want a bunch of extra excess hair that just looks gross, and if we're being honest, can get a little bit smelly and even more gross there, get the Lawnmower 3.0. Get the perfect package. It's all available at manscaped.com/chat. That link, once again, folks, will save you 20%, and it'll get you free shipping as well. It's manscaped.com/chat. Go check it out today in the comments, in the description and the comments section. They are the best men's grooming tools out there. So let's discuss then this proposed contract by CBS. And there's sticker shock for some of you. I know. 3 years, more or less, this becomes the updated version of the Kirk Cousins contract, where it's fully guaranteed for 3 years at $41.5 million. Now, I will make note, for those of you who go, but when is a quarterback one with a high cap hit? Good news, folks. Easily manipulatable. This proposed deal includes 2 fake years. So guess what the year 1 cap hit is on this proposed contract? It is just $17 million. Year 2, it is $34.5 million. Then it balloons in year 3 significantly. But if you think Dak's your guy by then, restructure him. Or enter a rebuilding phase like a smart organization would do. I know it's expensive. This is where we're at. What I don't want to see happening again for another year is the conversation of, you can't pay Dak that much money. He's not worth this amount. I would have paid him what he could have made last year, though. Because that's what we've been doing. It was, you can't pay Dak $35 million, but I'd pay him $32.5. And now it's, you can't pay Dak $40 million. I'd have paid him $35 though. And then next year it'll be, you can't pay Dak $45 million. Geez, I'd love to get him at $41.5 though. Because that's what we keep doing. We continue to fail to look ahead to the future and the way that the NFL market works. And if you want to try and zig while others zag and never pay a quarterback, okay, then why are you franchise tagging Dak Prescott? Like, you're straddling the middle here and not making a decision and getting screwed on both sides. The longer you wait, the more money you have to pay a quarterback of Dak Prescott's caliber. We're not that far removed from when 25 was the highest paid quarterback. It's gone up by $20 million per year. We have to accept this. The longer you wait, the more money it costs. That is the reality of life in the NFL. And with massive TV deals coming down the road, the Cowboys have to understand this. That the deals that Dak's going to get even 4 or 5 years from now, or the top quarterbacks are going to get 4 or 5 years from now, are going to look ridiculous compared to this current one. So yes, it's expensive. Yes, there is the sticker shock there. But I am just confused as to how repeatedly NFL contracts go up. Salary cap's going to boom in a couple years because of the TV money and the gambling money coming in. And Dak's staring down $38 million on the franchise tag and then lucrative free agency. And somehow the Cowboys front office goes, oh, surprise, Pikachu face. Like, this is what Stephen Jones is half the time, guys. This like, what do you mean the price tag went up? Have you not been paying attention? So I know it's expensive. I get that. I know that there's sticker shock there. You can get the cap hit down super easily. It's not that hard. If you think Dak's your guy, then just pay him, because the alternative is you're back in the Quincy Carter era of quarterbacks, and is that really what we want to do? We're going to keep you guys covered on everything going on around the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. We've got daily videos, and sometimes even multiple times a day we get you guys a video on news, on rumors, trades, draft, free agency, everything. If you want to stay updated, join us today at the Dallas Cowboys Report. It's youtube.com/CowboysTV.